Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Coast to Coast Truckcast. We are here to review auction week number 8, and I'm here with my partner Richard Johnson.
That's good, guys. Nice to meet y'all. Richard Johnson's my name.
You guys may have remembered Richard. He started off this podcast, probably about a month or so ago, and he was one that really got this started off. And so let's get into it. Richard, this week we finally achieved what we set out to achieve, which was we sold 100% of our inventory.
Yes, very first thing we've ever done. Very first time we've ever done it. 100% sale on just fleet trucks. That's amazing.
Oh, it was astounding, especially since, you all can appreciate that, selling fleet trucks is difficult. Other auctions do it, but they do it at such a low price that it just undercuts the rest of the market, whereas we've seen a huge uptick in the prices. We dropped it for a couple of weeks there. We'll be honest, we dropped it, but now we're starting to see an uptick. We saw about a 2.5% rise on the MMR averages per unit. So it was a nice change of pace. And Richard, what did you think being out on the floor, because you were the one running the sale? What did you think of it all?
Guys, I think the biggest success that we have is we don't take offers on the vehicles and we let the customers, the buying customers, decide where we start and where we end. By doing that, you create that frenzy of buying, and everybody knows that the vehicles are on the up and up and they're selling no matter what. I think during the regular sales, especially in fleet sales or consignment sales, you have a big deal where they try to work you for all the money, then they put you on an offer, then the auction takes their time. You can't make decisions. And through our lane at Coast to Coast Remarketing, it's just nice and easy. Last hand in the air is going to own the vehicle. Some vehicles, we really only got one bid on it and we sold it. That's the motto. We try to sell everything every time, and it's getting better each week. We're seeing better results in the MMR for our customers. We're seeing better results for customers coming to buy, just because we don't take offers. Last hand in the air is going to win the car every single time.
Yeah, it's that was the model that we came in here with. I know doing a pure sale is what everybody wants to do, but having that mindset of running a pure sale is excuse that door opening, guys. That was the owner of our registered import partner, Sebastian Jones. He is the owner of Precision Imports. Say hi, Sebastian.
How's it going?
He'll be on one of these podcasts one of these days. He might chime in here and there when we talk about the RI side. But going back to the sale, yeah, it's everybody wants to do a pure sale. You're fine, man. You can make as much noise as you want. Everybody wants to do a pure sale, but nobody has the gumption to truly sit in a lane and let a vehicle go for $6,000-$7,000 back of MMR. And nobody wants to do that, but Richard and I have seen those first 7 sales. It took 7 sales to get to a point where we're selling every car for truly what it's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Truly what it's worth.
And our MMR percentage, what was our MMR percentage?
We were almost at 97%, 96.8%.
That was overall.
That was overall on all the fleet stuff. Now, the premium stuff, the F-150 sport packages, the Denali's, the diesels, they were bringing right at 100, I think it was 100.2% of MMR.
Yeah.
So we're right there at MMR. And I see that during the regular sales, they don't sell all the time.
Mm-mm.
So their conversion rates are probably not as good as ours, but our conversion rates are 100%. So I think if you're going to consign cars with us in the future, that's something we need to take a look at, because the carrying costs and everything it costs to hold those vehicles for weeks and weeks, or trying to have the auction call those people and get a bump on the price of it where they've worked their tail off to do it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference, I think.
It does make a big difference. And we're another side we'll touch on later is selling on the first run. But, those units, that we ran, for the past 7 sales, we've been averaging anywhere from, I think it was 25 to 30% of the units were those premium models that I bring up all the time in this podcast, guys. But this past week, we only had 4 premium vehicles. So we had 1 XLT Sport, we had 1 Denali, and 2 AT4s. And so the rest of them, I think it was 43 vehicles, were true fleet trucks. So those percentages that you're seeing, that is I mean, we based our percentages on those premium units, kind of averaging out everything. So, I mean, if we had more of that stuff, I mean, our overall MMR would have risen up to probably that over that 97%
Absolutely.
threshold.
I think with the number of personalized text messages we both send out to everybody, reminding them Monday morning to be at the sale, it's that personal touch. I think it makes a huge difference. And then calling every customer afterwards to make sure that thank them for showing up and bidding on the cars, and the people that didn't make it, is there something else we could do to help you? It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's more personalized. Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody really wants, is somebody to rep their cars and take care of them the whole way, even the sellers.
Yeah.
So
it is. We, I mean, this past week we had a guy buy for the first time, a gentleman that owns a couple stores in Wyoming. I gave him a call, just called him to thank him for coming to the sale. And he said it was nice that he can start off the week and start buying, 7-8 trucks to start at his week for his dealership, because he doesn't have all the time during the week. I mean, when I called him, he was at the parts counter because the parts guy wasn't there. And he owns all 3 dealerships, and he was at the parts counter. So it's little things like that that take off a little bit of the edge for these guys that are running these, successful dealerships. So, but before I go on to the next thing, if you guys do want a text message with links to the sale, our run list, go ahead, call me at 651-357-8966, or, shoot me a text message. And Richard, you want to throw out your phone number?
You guys can text me too. My name is Richard Johnson, area code 208-401-5176. You're more than welcome to call me or text me 24/7. I'm up early and I go to bed late. So
that's right. That's the wholesale business.
That's the wholesale business.
We're not going to share Sebastian Jones' number, the owner of Precision Imports, just yet, because he's got to be to bed at a decent hour. He's got a lot more going on than we do.
Beauty sleep. He needs more beauty sleep than the older guys do.
He does.
Wow.
But another statistic, guys, that we've been tracking recently is units that we sell on the first run, and we're just under 80% of the vehicles that we run sell on the first time they go through the sale.
Absolutely.
So that's I mean, Richard, you've been in the auction business for a long time. That's a huge plus for everybody. That way the auctions don't get tired of rerunning your vehicles week after week. You don't want to develop a reputation with them by not selling their cars for all the money. So it just makes it easier. I think you create more of that feeding frenzy when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. People love buying the cars, and they don't like to mess around with, offers. We'll get back to you. You're trying to load it to fill out a truck. It makes it extremely hard to be a buyer in these days age unless they're absolutely selling the vehicles, and that's what we do. We sell the vehicles. If you raise your hand, you will own a car. It's really becoming something that a lot of guys can count on, because I mean, in the past couple of weeks, especially since we've set up this, this model, and we've set the precedence that we are here to sell. I mean, even after the sale, if a guy only buys 3 or 4 trucks, but he needs, like you said, that one more to fill a load, and he didn't catch it in the sale, he just calls us right after. We have a bunch of units that go on OEE, and we're able to help him fill up that load because we follow that same model there. So it's it really cuts out, honestly, a lot of the bullshit in wholesaling. How many people do you have to go through to find a good guy to buy from? And we're starting to build that reputation of we're consistent and we're here to sell. We're not here to, gouge you for an extra $100 or $200.
Yeah, I think that's worth it to the buyers for sure. And the sellers, they're starting to be okay with it. I think they're seeing that their gross averages are all starting to come into play, and it's going up for them. And I think a really big thing is time and inventory is a huge deal. Right now, time and inventory, because you just don't want to ride on the depreciation of the vehicle by holding an extra week to get an extra $100 or $200. It's just not worth it.
No, especially since the end of last year. I shouldn't even say the end of last year, half of last year. If you didn't sell that vehicle that week, I mean, you could have seen that value drop $1,000 to $2,000 the next week. So, a little skittish for a lot of sellers, but.
Yes. So let's touch on the registered import just a little bit, guys, and what we want to say about that. The tailgate, I think it is the tailgate recalls. We have a fix for those, and we've been getting those done in an average of 3 days, but we're doing almost 30 every other day.
Yeah.
So we're getting those out in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Our average day in hold before we sell the car is 20 days from the day it crosses the border until the time to sell. It's under 20 days almost. So that's even a big improvement for the registered import business and for our sales, which is basically built on time and inventory, guys.
That is
a huge difference.
Yeah, that's the whole precedence in the Canadian wholesale game is the least amount of days, because a lot of you wholesalers out there, I mean, you guys probably look at, probably a long life cycle for a vehicle is 2 weeks. Well, in Canadian exporting, you buy a vehicle up in Canada, like let's say today, that vehicle probably isn't leaving the country until next week, maybe even the week after. So you got 10 days there, then you got 30 days in the hold, then you have to sell it at auction. You're looking at about 45 to 50 days before you sell a vehicle.
There's definitely a benefit to running with coast to coast and what we have to offer in time and inventory. And with the storage yards, not just the storage yards, but just everything that we have going on for us, it makes coast to coast that much easier to deal with.
Yeah, it does. I think we've seen the turnaround time from when a vehicle gets bought in Canada to when it crosses the border. It's right around 3 to 4 days right now. And then the time that it takes to, from the time that it hits our lot to when it sells at auction, it's right around that 15, 16-day mark.
It is. So it's just something, guys, to keep in mind for sure. If we have some more information about the import business, we'll sure share it with you right away.
Yeah.
Because we want you guys to be informed, and we want to be the first people to keep you informed with what's going on.
Yeah. And a quick update for everybody, because last week's podcast was talking about the hearing with Ford and Mopar. There was no new update or official update, but the rumblings in that discussion have been very positive. So we're hoping for a positive outcome so we can all see those 2-3 bins come over without any duties on them, because I know that would help a lot of guys that are, especially right now, you Canadian listeners out there that are sending vehicles to the U.S., I know a lot of you guys are getting heavy on the heavy duty stuff. I know a lot of guys are seeing packages come in of, 6 to 10 to 15, F-350s, 1-ton Sierras, Silverados. So let's hope that gets solved soon so that, at least the duties can go away pretty quickly. But before we move on to talk about next week, Sebastian, is there anything new in the RI world this week or nothing?
Nope.
That's sometimes a really good thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Sometimes no news is good news.
Yeah, thank God. So let's talk about next week. We're hoping to get to 75.
Yep.
We were initially hoping for 150, but we decided to kind of cut the cord on running a bunch of the American stuff that we had, because they honestly needed some extra recon work done to them to bring those CRs up a little bit. So we're working on that. We'll see those in the coming weeks, but we really think that staying around that 75 to 80 will be good for a couple weeks.
And I noticed the amount of diesel product that we have this week is huge. We have a big selection of the premium stuff, but the diesel product, we have quite a bit of it. And every one of the diesels that we did have, they sold for a lot of money.
Yeah.
When I think they go through the regular sale, the diesels, they don't do as well, either price-wise or the excitement. But we'd have guys bid on them 5, 10, 7 times a piece. It was crazy how much the diesels were doing and how good they were selling.
It was. And for you buyers out there, just so you know, the retail value on those diesels hasn't dropped, but because we've been running such an aggressive lane, the MMRs have dropped. So you guys can get those vehicles at a even better price and have so much more room for, that retail profit. So tune in, because we have, I think it's 10 diesels.
Yep. 10
diesels running. We have a couple Denali's, Platinum in there. And then we have, I think it's on top of that, we have another 10 to 15 premium units.
Yeah.
And then a lot more half tons that aren't premium, but they're still, we have some color in there this week.
Oh,
we have a couple
power seats and big screens. Big deal.
That's
got it.
Right. We got those finally.
We got those finally. And they got carpet too, so that even makes a bigger difference. And carpet. That even makes a bigger difference.
Don't spill all that coffee in the car. But we have finally have some color this week. I think we have 4 black units, 2 red units, and a couple silver.
Oh, there was a yellow Ford Ranger in there, guys. An XLT Ford Ranger yellow.
XLT Ford Ranger.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And that actually looked nice. Didn't even have a beacon on it or anything.
Really?
No. Just bright yellow.
Yeah, I saw it. That was a...
We have color.
I wouldn't buy that yellow, but I know some lucky buyer out there will.
We have yellow.
Yes.
We have something besides white.
Yeah. So you guys tune in this week. It's going to be a lot more of a colorful sale. So
absolutely. So guys, thank you very much for listening to our podcast. My name is Richard Johnson.
My name is Michaela Morris. Again, my phone number is 357-8966.
Well, I can't let him have the last word. Area code 208-401-5176. I want to thank you guys all for listening to our podcast, and you guys have a great day. Please don't hesitate not to stop and take some time and give us a call. Have a great day, everybody.
Where is it?
Let's go right here.